Hi, my name is Patricia, and this is the Patricia Show. Please press like and subscribe. You might have heard a little noise there on the phone. I was moving my recorder away from my mouth. Sorry about that. It was too close. Okay, so I really want to talk about the light. What does that mean, light? Do you know that God is light? You might have heard of that when you were a child, or maybe not. God is light. God is pure love. Okay? Do you remember hearing that ever? So, what is God? I did a survey and asked people this question. What did they think God was? I was amazed that people didn't know, really. People were telling me he was a superhuman being. People were telling me he was a spirit that could never become physical. Then some people say, well, he's God. He could come whatever he wanted. He could be physical if he wanted to. Most people were saying he was a he was a super being. I was very shocked because this was older people. I mean, this wasn't like 20-year-old people. These were older people. They had been in the church a long time, well, forever. But you would think they knew a little bit more than about what God was. So I want you to ask yourself, to you, what is God? What is God to you? Think about that. Do you think God is a being sitting on a throne? Think about that. Really think about that. Because you may say, no, I don't think he's a being on a throne. But deep inside, or on a subconscious level, you do. Because when they're teaching about God, that's really how the churches are teaching. Like, he can see everything you do, that he's somewhere sitting on a throne and just watch everything that you do. I had one guy, I remember, say that he just thought God was so busy with the world until God didn't have time for his little bitty problems because there was so much going on in the world. So when he prayed to God, basically he was saying that he doesn't think, God didn't have time for him. God had to look at the other stuff that was going on in the world. God is inside of you. Now, what does that mean? God is inside of you. When you've heard that in the past, what do you think that to mean? You could write this in the comments. What did you think that mean? God is inside of you. God is an intelligence that lies within the light. So how is God inside of us? Because a part of that intelligence is inside of you. When you tap that intelligence, I use the word tap the intelligence, but it's really more than that. When you align yourself with, now I have to really break this down to a couple of answers, okay? Because when you do affirmations, what should be happening is you should be speaking these affirmations inside of you, like you're communicating with God. And that brings about the affirmation. So basically, if you say, I am a millionaire, basically you're telling God, this is what I want. I am a millionaire. And so God goes on to create that. So when you do affirmations, did you ever think, like, how are they coming true? They're coming true because you're speaking it to that power within you, and that power within you takes your request and begin to manifest it. God power only knows to create. It is an infinite intelligence that lives within you through you and basically all around you. And it knows nothing but to create. So whatever your mind is on, that's what it's going to create repetitively. So if your mind is always on negativity, 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 that's what it's going to create. Negativity, negativity, negativity. If it's on positive stuff, positive, 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 that is what it's going to create. Positive, positive, positive. So a lot of people say, oh, I don't believe in that positive thinking. That positive thinking, I don't believe in that. But that's because you don't understand it. You're communicating with that power within you. Now, let me explain something to you. We say prayers to God, but the universe really doesn't, I don't want to say doesn't, I'm going to have to just tell you like it is, honey, because some of this stuff, I don't have the proper words to explain what I mean. So I have to just say them. They don't understand what you're saying. You're manifesting because of your feeling. That's why, or your repetitive feeling. So in other words, if I am always thinking about lack, 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 my frequency is going to be that of lack. And that's what I'm going to create. It's not because, not really, on a deeper level, it's not because you're saying, you don't go around saying, well, yeah, you do. You do go around saying, I don't have no money. I don't have enough for this. I don't have enough for that. Oh, I would love to buy them pair of shoes, but honey, I don't have enough. You're study saying that. You are verbally saying that. But that's not really this is kind of a double answer. So that's not really what's causing you to be lack. It's because when you repeat that repetitively, it changes your frequency to that of lack. So if you say, I don't have enough of this and I don't have enough of that, your frequency is going to change to lack. And you're going to give off the vibration frequency of lack. So that power within you will then create lack. Let's say you couldn't talk. Let's say you couldn't talk at all. And God couldn't hear nothing you saying. How could you communicate him through your frequency? You don't need to open your mouth and say nothing to God. Your frequency tells it all because that's what he's creating from anyway. If you're giving off a feeling of desperation, pain, desperation, something's wrong. And so then there's God to help you. You don't have to say, you really don't have to say, God, come help me. He already knows you need help. Remember, God knows what you need before you say you need it. So he automatically knows Patricia's in trouble because of the vibration frequency that's coming off. He automatically knows I'm in trouble if I couldn't open my mouth to tell him. You understand what I'm saying? So if you want to create wealth in your life. Let's say you're trying to create a millionaire. And God can't hear you. So how are you going to create that? Well, you have to produce the frequency. Once you produce the frequency, then that's all you need to produce because God will take it from there. Now, how do we produce the frequency? Well, by repetition. So you can repeat it at night before you go to bed. You can write it out. Or you can simply just put your thoughts on it, honey. That's all. It's that simple. Just think about it all day long. That's all you got to do. And God will get it because it'll automatically not only send that message, but change the frequency. Your stuff would happen very quick if you can always send out frequencies because that's the way God communicates with you, the frequency. The frequency of wealth attracts wealth. The frequency of lack attracts lack, and so on and so forth, whatever you're trying to get from God. If you're sending out happy, happy, happy feelings, what is that? That's what you're going to get back. Happy, happy, happy. If you're sending out love, love, love. But if you're crying a lot in desperation, God's going to know, hey, she's in trouble. She needs help. And he'll send a message or signal or whatever to a higher master to come and help you. Now, you might say, Patricia, you just said that God wasn't sitting on the throne. So how is he going to do that? Okay. It's in you. Remember that. It's an intelligence. Remember that. The intelligence lies in the light. Almost the core of the light is intelligence. Remember that. So I'm talking like God is going to come. Like, for instance, I'm talking like if you have a problem, Bob, like let's say I was ascending master and God going to come to me and say, oh, go help Patricia. She just sent me a signal. Obviously, it's not going to be like that. But when you're coming to this earth and you're a master or you're a master yourself or you're a student of a master, they're watching you all the time. Because let's say Saint Germain is your teacher and he sends you on earth to learn things. You think he's going to send you down there and they're going to be watching you? He's going to send you down there. He's going to be watching you all the time. So then he might get a feeling something's wrong with Patricia. And then I'm just, making it simple to say he'll look in and say, oh, there's a couple of negative spirits around her. Can we move them? Then they're going to look at Patricia Kajnik records and say, oh, she needs to learn a lesson first. When she's finished learning these lessons, then we'll go down and move these negative spirits around her. I'm just saying go down because I always think, they're up there somewhere and we're down here. So that's just my talking, the way I'm talking, okay? But if they say, oh, there's no karma to be learned, she doesn't have a karma, they're going to immediately shed down light to dislodge those negative spirits from your being and free you. You understand what I mean? Because it's all frequency, and they can look in any time and see if something wrong. They're not going to put you on earth and nobody is watching you. If you've called for help and you don't have, and nobody is coming, then I pretty much guarantee you that is a karma. When the karma is complete, they will be to help you. Now that's something totally different. How do we remove the karma? So I have to make a whole nother video to show you how do you remove the karma or erase the karma or consume the karma. But I'll make another video for that. But I wanted to show you that you're never alone. Even though you think you're alone, you're never alone. If something is going on in your life and you're calling for help and you're not getting it, guarantee you there's a karma. So there's a lesson that you need to learn before they'll come and free you. When the lesson is learned, you will be freed. So it's imperative that you do transmit your karmas. Because when you don't transmit them, it takes longer. It might take you 20 years or 15 years to get from under one karma. And it could take you way less than that if you remove that karma. Okay, so this tape is about over. Maybe I'll make a part 2. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Patricia Show.